What's going on, guys? It's Tom. I'm back with another video, and in this video I think I titled it, "Sometimes your time is not valuable in the Philippines." And what I wanted to talk about was specifically how, like, recently with me, I had a recurring back issue now that just came back about a month ago because I probably lifted something that was too heavy or whatever. Actually, we had gone to SNR. I think it's been about a month now at least. And they were using bigger boxes to put the stuff in when you check out, and then put it into your cart instead of those half boxes that they usually kind of use, and bags, whatever bags you bring, like SNR bags or whatever, they'll use those. But then also for certain things, and when they run out of the fill up the bags, they start filling up the little half boxes, or whatever. Well, they were using these bigger boxes, So, for the first time, since I've been there. And, it was okay as far as, the grab guy sort of loaded it up, most of it into his car or whatever when he picked us up. And then when we got back, though, I think when we were moving it from the curb to like near the elevator, and then, Amy will go up and get the dolly that we have, bring it down, and then that's how we bring it up to our apartment, because we buy a lot of food, for 3 weeks worth. Okay, there's 4 people here, so, we're stocking up, especially the meat and stuff like that, some fish. So anyway, I don't know, I picked up a big box and, wham, something happened. I don't know if I slipped a disc or what, but they call it like lumbar spinal stenosis. And basically, because I know this because it kind of happened a year and a half ago, and I had an MRI at that time, and at the bottom of your spine, there's nerves that go through the side of the spine, like through canals. And when those canals narrow, for whatever reason, it happens with age, okay? Sometimes it's just a accumulation of years and years of, lifting and whatever, just working hard or whatever. And it gets narrow, and then it starts pinching the nerve. So if you do something and you slip a disc or something, right, that disc goes back, usually. It sort of settles back, and then it makes that canal even smaller, or it pinches the nerve even more, and then that's how you come up with these. It's not fun, guys, I'll tell you that. But so I'm still recovering, I mean, I had 1 week of pain pills, just 1 pill a day, and then I still got 3 more days of muscle relaxers. But it's not like sciatica, everybody likes to throw that word around, like sciatica, sciatica. I mean, I don't know, maybe that has to do with the nerve, but this is kind of a specific thing. I mean, I actually had an MRI, I didn't get a CT scan yet, but, I'm not going to do it again unless I decide that maybe if I can't get rid of this, like, from losing weight, because I'm going to try and lose weight. I'm going to try and lose, like, really 20 pounds I'd like to lose, and sort of do some, exercises to target this problem like I have been doing, but some different exercises that I learned about. And I'm going to try and get this non-surgically, get it fixed, right? But if I can't, like in 6 months or something like that, I might do, the specific surgery, I think, in this case is like outpatient. It's not that big of a deal. They just open up the canal more, so that the nerve can go through without being pinched and have plenty of room to move a little bit if it has to or whatever. So it's not, I don't know if I would do it here, though, in the Philippines. I mean, it's one thing to have medical services and all that, MRIs, ultrasounds, blood, urine, just basic stuff. But, surgery, I don't know. I mean, that kind of surgery. It depends on, I'd have my appendix removed here in a heartbeat if I had to, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But back is kind of like, you want to go to a place that really specializes in back stuff, like back surgeries. So anyway, back to my original point. This leads up to that, right? So when it comes to medical here, and it wasn't so bad. I used a different doctor because the doctors here, you might have a doctor that you went to, more, 3, 4, 5 times or something for some specific issue. But if you need to go to the doctor and your doctor's off that day, he's not in that location, he's not in a nearby location to you or whatever, then you're likely going to have to just go there on his off day and talk to some other doctor, and that's kind of what I did, and he wasn't bad, I mean, not the best bedside manner, you know what I mean, like compared to like a US doctor, but I just, the one thing I'm really talking about here is that I mean, I was there waiting for like basically 2 hours, and don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining and I'm not making, I'm not being the ugly American, nothing like that. But I'm telling you guys, because most of you guys are Westerners, and if you're thinking about coming here, you need to consider this, I'm sorry to not sugarcoat everything for you, but I like to bring up things that are realistic here, and that's one of them, like, I mean, with my other doctor, he would usually, what happens is, you contact the secretary in his office, and then she'll usually tell you, okay, he's here on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday from, 9 a.m. till noon, or 10 a.m. till noon, okay? And then you're like, okay. Now, they are sometimes late, and if they're like 30 minutes late or something, okay, no big deal, and then plus you're fourth and fifth or sixth in line. So, you're going to be there for at least an hour before you get seen by him or her, okay? But, and the guy's kind of like, hour and a half late, and then you're like eighth, there. You're eighth in line, and it's like we were there for 2 hours, and I'm obviously experiencing pain for like the last freaking month, so I'm not in the best mood, I mean, and then the chairs that they have are metal fucking chairs, excuse my French, but they're like, they come out of like a bus stop or a bus station, you know what I mean, like they're just not comfortable at all. And when you got lower back issues, and your ass and your right leg are sore and shit, now you got to sit on this metal. So I'm sitting for a while, and then I got to stand, but I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, I'm just telling you, like, it's not easy here sometimes, because your time is just not valuable sometimes, you know what I mean? That's the damn truth, like, and this is what, and think about this, man, this is what, if you think you're going to be a little perturbed by it, in the limited amount of times that you might experience it, think about the Filipinos here, living here, that have to put up with this, like, frequently, you know what I mean? Like, all their lives, like, all their lives. They've been here all their lives, the ones who've never been OFW or anything like that, or never been out of the country. And it's like, and of course, they just fall in line, as the saying goes, fall in line, and they do it because they don't know any different, you know what I mean? Like, it's the way it is here, So I tell you what, when you're looking from a distance, right, when you're looking at some of these things outside looking in, you're a Westerner, right? You didn't grow up here in the Philippines, so you're looking at, so you see things sometimes even more clearly because you've experienced how it's supposed to work, things, and then now you're seeing how things, sometimes work here, and you're going to be sort of like, you're going to be doing things, you're going to be trying to figure out ways to get around these issues, and sometimes you'll be able to, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you'll say, well, what if we go on this day? This day's like less busy, for a doctor or whatever, like a Monday or, whatever, or a Wednesday or, whatever day it is. You're going to be trying to figure that out, like, because if you just have to go there and it's not like emergency type, or just like you really have to see somebody that day, you're going to be working your schedule around what's the best way to, avoid this. And you'll never totally avoid it. You know what I mean? Like, listen, if you're waiting for your doctor for like say 45 minutes or less, or 30 to 45 minutes. Now in the U.S., if you're waiting for 45 minutes for your doctor appointment, even though you had an appointment that was scheduled 8 months in advance, and then you're still waiting, you're getting pissed off. You're gonna be like, you're gonna be swearing to yourself, and maybe a little bit, you're gonna be asking the nurse, hey, what's going on? Both, you're gonna be like mad, But here, if you're waiting for 30 to 45 minutes, or let's just say 45 minutes, that's like average. That's like okay. That's like not bad. You know what I mean? Like just remember that, just prepare for that, and I know you might think, oh, if I'm going to come here and I'm retired, well, I'm not in a hurry. No, you're not. But if it's for a doctor's appointment and you're in pain, you get a little less patient. You know what I mean? And like I said, no one there knew that I was mad. No one. Not even the doctor when I finally saw him or whatever. And they're pretty good here. Like this guy, the one thing that I liked about him, we saw him twice. And I had an ultrasound and blood and urine just to rule out anything else, because it was a weird symptom. It was kind of felt like it was my hip. But I just wanted to make sure it wasn't some kind of infection, or something, or whatever, you know what I mean? So we we did all that, and it was clean. Everything was clean. And it was about my third ultrasound since I've been here. I've been here 2 years now. And the other two were pretty clean. I mean, they showed these little minor things. But it's funny, on this ultrasound, this third one, it was all clean, and it was the same lady that did it, you know what I mean? And I'm assuming she's using the same machine, and it was clean, there was, I thought last time there was supposed to be a small synovial cyst, small though, 1.5 centimeters or whatever, on the kidney, so it was sort of no big deal, right? Because as long as it's not over 2.5 or 3 centimeters, they don't care, it's Well, it showed up on the first 2 ultrasounds, but on this one, it didn't. It was totally clean. And the same thing on the last one. I think the gallbladder was slightly blocked or whatever. No stones or nothing, but it was getting a little bit clogged or whatever. Well, that's apparently okay now, and that could have cleared up, by itself, you know what I mean? I accept that could have just cleared up, because the gallbladder, you can live without a gallbladder, but I mean, I'm just saying it's one of those things that sends bile from the liver or something like that, or I don't know, it helps break down your food or whatever. But the funny thing is, right? So I asked the doctor about it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, well it depends on the machine they're using, in other words, maybe the machine was off or something, or wrong, or you know what I mean? Maybe there was just a spot on there that was a piece of dirt." And I just thought I didn't really say much to him. I'm just I'm like, okay, but I'm kind of laughing on the inside because I'm thinking, yeah, he knows. Basically, that's kind of important, right? When you have an ultrasound and they're saying that there's a cyst or some kind of and then it's like, oh, never mind, it's just a machine malfunction or something, So that's probably something that not going to happen too much in the U.S., but would probably be fairly common here, But yeah, like I said, this guy he spoke good English. I will say that, and they all do not. Okay, and we're talking doctors here now, not just citizens. And I'm in Manila, So all you guys who think everything is, English is fluent here and all that, not really. Not really. Not if they don't have contact with a lot of Westerners. Yeah, if you go to a hospital in BGC or Makati, oh yeah, I'm sure they're fluent. Almost everyone's fluent there, probably. Wherever there's a lot of Westerners that live in the Philippines, pretty much the workers and the customer service and everybody is going to have a pretty good grasp of English, But around where we're at, you get a lot of these people that are from the province, you know, and they come here to work, maybe, and they're from not even that far away from here, but they're sort of provincial, and they do not speak much English, man, you know, and the reason they come here and the reason they get hired is because they're usually willing to work for less money, less salary than like somebody from the city, like a Filipino that's from the city or grew up in the city, you know. I mean, I'm guessing that's it, right? Why else would there be, you know, almost all the customer service people, you know, probably in the malls too. Although the malls around here, you're probably going to get more, you're going to see more people from the city, but, you know, it's still, like I said, English is not as fluent as you might think, you know. But yeah, don't be surprised. Any kind of government agency or whatever, you know, or you're going to be waiting in line, or, you know, really, and that's true, you know, and not always true with the BOI. You know, like some of us, that's the only contact we have with the Philippine government. It's like, oh, the BOI or the PRA, or, you know, and those aren't too bad. But man, when you start getting into, like, you know, medical hospitals, doctors, especially if you think you want to go to a public one, I mean, geez, I can imagine how long you're going to wait there, you know, at a public hospital or whatever, you know, for a doctor. But yeah, just don't be surprised, you know, with how little your time, how little value your time actually has, you know. Because waiting, like what I just did, that 2 hour thing, that's like normal here, you know. 45 minutes or 30 minutes, that's fast, you know. And up until now, I guess I didn't really, you know, because previously it seemed like, you know, one time I waited a couple hours, but because the guy was an hour late. You know, that's the thing. Sometimes these doctors they're late, you know, and then when they get there, maybe they had to go to a surgery. Now, even if they're not surgeons, sometimes if one of their patients is getting surgery, they have to be there, you know, just to be there. So there's like the surgeon, there's the anesthesiologists that are doing the actual, you know, surgery, right? And then there might be the general practitioner or the internal medicine or the regular doctor, you know, that referred them, you know, to this, for this surgery or whatever. They're often have to be there. So, you know, if it's a 1 hour surgery, if it's a 2 hour surgery or something, yeah. Even if it starts earlier, you know, they're going to wind up being late. And the secretaries, I don't know, like sometimes I almost feel like, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's a little bit their fault because, you know, they're not telling you, like they don't know that the schedule of the doctor that they're working for. Like they have no idea that he's at a surgery or something, or, you know what I mean? Like they'll tell you, oh yeah, they're 10 to 12 today, sir. That's when he's here. Then you show up at 10:30. Forget about showing up early. You know, like just leave at the time when the guy's supposed to be there. Get there by, you know, maybe a half an hour. Because even if there's a lot of people in front of you, it doesn't make sense to go there an hour early. Because all that hour you're going to be waiting, you know, and then you're going to be waiting an extra time. And even if you're first on the list, you're still going to be there for almost 2 hours. So, and you got up earlier. You know, you thought you were, you know, the early bird, you know, getting the worm, and you didn't get shit, you know. So anyway, guys, that's about it for this one. But I'm going to try and do a few more today, you know, just, and they'll be shorter ones. This one I thought was going to be short, but I'm rambling on just to tell you guys, you know, just the way things sometimes work here, you know. But yeah, like I said, the medical, I don't know, sometimes they're just not, you know, like they don't seem to like too much when you ask questions. These doctors, you know, some of these doctors, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like, because they're used to like, you know, they don't have many Western patients, okay? Westerner patients. So they're just, you know, and Filipinos don't usually ask as many questions, you know, like they just listen, and, you know, they might have basic questions like, okay, so I have to take this pill 3 times a day, or, you know, like stuff like that they might ask. but they're not going to ask in-depth questions, you know, and stuff like that, right? So then, you know, they just like, these doctors are like an assembly line. They come in, they're there for 2 or 3 hours, they're cranking out each patient usually no more than 15 minutes. They're not going to spend more than 10 to 15 minutes with each patient, okay? So just keep that in mind, you know. So you have 2 hours of waiting, you're going to see him for 15 minutes tops, you know, because he's cranking them out. He's got like 10 people waiting, you know, and then he has to leave by 12 or 1 o'clock or whatever, you know what I mean? And now it's like 11, you know. So that's how it works, you know. Now, if you want to, I'm going to tell you this. I mean, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to tell you this. If you grease the secretary, you might be able to bump up on the list, you know what I mean? Instead of just asking, like, hey, can we be 4th instead of 8th? You know? You might want to try to, you know, slip her a 50 or even 100, you know, I guess. You know what I mean? It's worth a try. If it doesn't work, then, you know, maybe 50 would probably work. You know what I mean? Like, believe it or not, you know, it seems like not a lot of money, you know, but, you know, it is for them here, you know. Like, it's, I mean, it's something. You can buy a small little, some kind of food for that, you know. But anyway, that's what I would advise, guys. That's about it. I know you guys probably are nodding off at this point, but anyway, if you got any questions, please send comments, and I'm gonna do another ones, and the next couple that I do, they'll be shorter, believe me. They'll be like less than 10 minutes, you know. Maybe, you know, 5 to 10 minutes or whatever. So guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And you know, I don't know if I've said this before, but, you know, when you subscribe to my channel, it doesn't cost you anything. You know what I mean? I'm not going to send you a bill. I'm not like some, you know, outdoor living magazine or some shit where, you know, oh, you're subscribing and now you're going to pay like $12 a year, you know. No, it's totally free. Totally free. So if you just click that subscribe button, that's all you got to do. And like, if you like the video, you know, hit the like, you know. Or if you know somebody that might benefit from it, you can even share the video. I really appreciate it, guys. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.